Let's go!
It's time for the Lady Charmaine's Gospel Minute, keeping you up to date on all your favorite celebrities in the gospel music industry. From tour dates, CD releases, and all your favorite gospel television shows. It's not Hollywood gossip. It's the Gospel Minute with Lady Charmaine.
Well, my guest today exploded on the scene for all the world to see with his riveting message of deliverance and healing. His message, Woman, Thou Art Loosed, loose women from the bond of pain and hurt all over the world. With those 4 words, Woman, Thou Art Loosed, it was turned into a best-selling book, sold out conferences, and a box office hit. Now, with 2 successful movies added to his credit, and with the #1 comedy movie in the country, and ranked #3 in the box office, here to talk about his new movie, Jumping the Broom, and his sacred love songs. Help me welcome America's most beloved Bishop, Bishop T.D. Jakes, to the show. How you doing, Bishop?
I'm absolutely wonderful. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. Now, I know you have this new movie that I saw twice already. It's called Jumping the Broom, that you produced with Tracy Edmonds. How did you and Tracy come to work together on the movie?
You know, I have a first look contract with Sony Pictures whereby I had done Not Easily Broken and was set up to do more films and still set up to do more films. And we were writing a script in anticipation of doing our second film around Family Secrets. And when Devon approached me and said that Tracy Edmonds had a script that we ought to look at for consideration to do up under our contract with Sony, I read the script, really liked it, thought it was innovative and creative, and we could tweak it and make it what we wanted it to be, and so we went into business together.
Now, how did you both come into picking the cast for this movie? Because you couldn't have picked 2 better families, the Watsons and the Taylors.
Well, you know, what we all did, the casting director sent us many options of people that were able to do little snippets that we could view and comment on, and we began to figure out who really fit the part the best. And then you start out with who you want, and then sometimes you end up with who you can afford.
Oh, that's good.
You know, but when it came to Angela Bassett and Loretta Devine, I mean, if anybody was worth stretching to get, they were the ones, because they're such incredible people. And then when we were blessed with Paula Patton, you know, which is just absolutely amazing, it really took it to another level. Laz Alonso, and next thing we know, little by little Romeo comes to point. And if you look at the cast, each one of them appeals to a different age demographic. Because we wanted the whole family to be able to come out and see people on the screen that they all could relate to. And that's the joy of Jumping the Broom. From young people to people my age and older, there's somebody in that family that you really connect with.
Now, I'm glad you mentioned connections, Bishop, because I got to tell you, when we saw the movie, first I went to go see it with the press. When I saw the movie, I called my husband and I told my husband, somebody put our life on that screen, because I was Paula Patton, my husband was Laz Alonso, and I can't say on the air who was the mother-in-law, but that was our whole life story. And I said I could have added some other things. So what I did on Monday, I took my husband on Monday because I told him, you got to see the movie. During the whole movie, words that were put in that movie, Bishop, was words that were said to me. It was as if somebody took a notebook, wrote our life out, and handed you guys a script and said, now make this a movie.
You know what's amazing? So many people have said that to me that it's unbelievable. And in no time at all, once the movie hit the screen, the community just really took the movie from us. They all started tweeting. They're still talking about it. Many people are coming out this weekend to see it that didn't get to see it the first weekend because of the buzz and the excitement in the community. It's absolutely amazing. It's a quality product. We've really tried to market it well, but you don't really have to struggle to market something when people really love it like that.
Correct. Because word of mouth, I mean, just the buzz, it just has everybody talking, because everybody could see somebody or who they are. I know I did. I connected all the way to the end of this movie. Now, I do have a question, Bishop. In this movie, I see that you brought back morals and values in a relationship, basically abstinence. Why was that so important in this movie?
I think it's important that we at least show the image on the screen and raise the conversation. You know, the great thing about being able to do things on screen is that you're talking to an audience who may or may not go to church. And even those who are in church need to hear this sometimes. And to show some physical illustrations of people who have been sexually active, who then make the decision to become abstinent, really relates to a people who don't always have the privilege of making a vow of chastity from a virginity perspective, but really are tired of being passed around like meat at a meat block and really want to do something special with their lives. And it really started a real buzz amongst people who saw the film about the realities of dating as an adult.
Because how many of us have been in that situation with Paula Patton? Okay. I'm not going to give away I done gave away the cookies. I'm not going to do it no more. You found out he had somebody else. How many Paula Pattons was sitting in that audience? And, I know I made that vow. Thank you, Jesus.
They're absolutely everywhere, And I think, without the movie being taken too seriously, we're not trying to solve all the problems of the world. With the movie, we just wanted to entertain people, but we also wanted to edify them and leave them with some food for thought. And I think we were able to do that without being preachy.
And you did. The message came across so clear. If I was still single, I'll say, you know what? I had a couple of brothers like that brother in that kitchen. And it makes you want to just say, you know what? Let me just, pull back and say, Lord, I make this vow to you, because I had to make the same vow before I got married, to the Lord. So I really appreciate you adding that, because that's so important, because you don't see that in a lot of television shows or movies. You just don't. And I want to just say thank you for putting that in there.
Well, thank you. I thought it was great to do that. I thought it really added an edge and a twist that you hardly ever see in Hollywood. And so I'm really glad that it resonated with a lot of people. And also the whole thing, the men have been saying to me that they really related to being torn between their mother and their wife. And they thought, many of them thought, oh, I'm not going to go see that. It's a chick flick. But when they got up there and they got to see what the guy, Lonzo's character was going through, the men started saying, I relate to that. And so that's really powerful.
And I love I'm not going to give a lot of the movie away, but I love at the end what Laz Alonso says to his mom, because how many women want their husband to stand up and say that, because they see what the mother-in-law does to the son. It was so powerful. I know men want to say it, but they can't say it. But I'm glad you had Laz Alonso's character say that to his mother.
Yes, and it's powerful from his perspective. And many mothers told me, I see myself in that character, and I'm just gonna let my son grow up. I mean, it's funny. It is entertainment. There's laughs a million in there, but it's also got a message in it, and I think that's really cool.
Now, Bishop, what was your favorite part of the movie?
That's the hardest question to answer, because there's so many scenes in there that I think are powerful. When Angela Bassett is sitting there and she and Mr. Watson are sitting on the side of the bed and she's weeping because it looks like her whole life is falling apart, and he begins to comfort her. That's a great scene to me. I'm a romantic at heart, so when Paula Patton comes to Laz Alonso after they've almost ended everything and they have that big kiss scene out on the bridge, that's a great moment. But I think one of the most touching moments to me is when they reach out and get the character Aunt Geneva and take her by the hand, and all three of them stand up and say, "We do." And you have to see the movie to really appreciate that. But after all they've been through, for them to include her at that sacred moment was very special.
Now, I'm glad you mentioned Angela Bassett when she was in the bedroom, because my husband and I, we were watching it on Monday at the theater. That was so powerful. She didn't even need any words. She was so overcome with emotion, she couldn't even speak. It's like she wanted to, but she couldn't even find the words to say. It's like when she would look at her husband and then she'd just turn her head, she'd start crying. I mean, you felt that. It's like she didn't have no words to say.
That's what separates the men from the boys when it comes to great actors. When you can convey a thought without opening your mouth, you are truly a great actor. And she did that. And you have to realize that when you shoot a film, you have to do that over and over again. Let's get it from the left. Let's get it from the right. Let's retake. And for her to deliver over and over again, I mean, she's a craftsman at her art. And people who go there, you don't even feel like you're seeing acting. You feel like Angela Bassett is Mrs. Watson.
Right. And she played that role really good too. I know. I was going to say something. I'm not going to give away the movie. You got to go and you have to see the movie. Now, Bishop, you have this Sacred Love songs. The music was beautiful. Even El DeBarge, when he was singing outside. Tell us about this Sacred Love song CD that's coming out on the 31st.
Well, people who have seen the movie will recognize the song that El DeBarge sings on Sacred Love songs, because it is the song that he sings out in New York playing the piano in the movie. and there are other great songs around it. I mean, all the actors, all the singers started contributing their voice to help us do love songs that were inspired from this great movie. Lettucey comes and does the old Al Green song, Let's Stay Together. You know, at a time when people's marriages are falling apart at an unbelievable rate, both outside and inside the church, to really start talking about staying together and sticking out, we need to go back to those kind of messages. Karen Clark Sheard, who incidentally sung at the red carpet of the Jumping the Broom in Hollywood, she sang Inseparable. And I'm very partial to that song because that's the song they sung at our wedding, and my wife and I will have been married 30 years, May 29th.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so we're really excited about that. But you've got Joe doing Closer on that project. You've got Fred Hammond doing a great song on there. Micah Stampley's on there doing a great song. And these are artists singing in ways you've never heard them sing before, but all of us made the commitment. With STDs what they are, teenage pregnancies what they are, HIV/AIDS rampant in our community, and a generation of kids who know nothing about love songs. All they know is sex. Mm-hmm. Drop it like it's hot. Well, do you want it over here? Do you want it over there? Up against the refrigerator, down on the floor? I mean, all romance is gone. I mean, it's just rot gut stuff now. And so we thought maybe the church should not be behind the bus, but lead the bus in terms of doing like the Bible did. I mean, one whole book of the Bible is Song of Solomon. It's time for us to break our silence and show our young people that it's okay to be committed and have a long-standing relationship.
Now, Bishop, there was a song that when Laz Alonso and when Paula Patton went through that little troubled period in the movie, there was a song I thought would have been perfect for that. Remember the song by Jesse Campbell, Lord, I Lift Her Up to You? She has that would have been so perfect because that was a pain that she was feeling that nobody can touch when she found out that information. And the way Jesse Campbell sings that song, Lord, I Lift Her Up to You, from your Take a Love songs, the first one, I said, there's nothing that he can do. She has a void that I can't feel. She has some tears I can't wipe. I play it on my show still. She has some tears I can't wipe away. Oh, hear me when I pray. Lord, I lift her up to you. That would have been so perfect.
Oh, it would have been absolutely amazing. And on this new project, Bishop Morton does a song called Finally, Someone to Love. And I can't wait for you to hear that song. I mean, it was one of my favorites too. But there were so many songs. When people hear these songs that we have put together, they're going to think of different moments in the movie. That particular scene we were talking about earlier, there's a song on the project called "Don't Go to Bed Mad," and it just so fits that moment when they're sitting on the side of the bed and they've been through all kind of drama in their marriage and in their family, and they're about to go to bed, and the song is "Don't Go to Bed Mad." And the Bible said, "Don't let the sun go down on your wrath." I think this sacred love song is going to minister to singles and married people alike.
Oh, the first one did, so I know this is going to be totally awesome. Now, do you and Tracy plan on teaming up for another movie? Because this was absolutely great. You got to do it one more time.
Oh, I would love to do something with her in the future. She's an absolutely gifted individual, and I'm very, very open to do that. And Salim Akil as well, who was the director on this movie. Right now, we've been green-lighted to do another project with another producer that we're real excited about as well, and we're really looking forward to that. It's a movie called Heaven is for Real. And we just got the rights to the book, Sony did, and they've chosen me to be a producer along with another gentleman that they selected for Heaven is for Real. And Heaven is for Real was on the New York Times bestsellers list for about 3 months, about a little boy who died and went to heaven and came back with knowledge that his parents knew he couldn't know. And it is very, very powerful book. If you haven't read the book, get the book. And we're developing the script, and we want to do that. And we want to do all kinds of things. We're doing some things for television, for Lifetime, and for elsewhere. And so our career in terms of doing entertainment through TDJ Enterprises is just being born. It's just being birthed.
Now, Bishop, did you ever see yourself doing movies and television? When you first started pastoring the church, did you ever see yourself at this point in your life?
No, I kind of see them as kind of two different streams going in the same direction. You know, what I do on Sunday morning and what I do through the Potter's House is totally different from TDJ Enterprises, but I'm so glad to have the opportunity to have a larger platform to talk to another group of people who don't go to church but still need inspiration and still need encouragement. And a lot of people would do it if they could do it, and I've had the opportunity to do it, and I'm hoping that it leaves a door open for other spiritual leaders as well as other people in general who are wanting to explore other things other than what they are known for.
Because I think this is great, the avenue that you're going. I know the Bible says, "I have not seen nor ear heard, neither has it entered into the heart of man, the things that God has prepared for them that love him." That's the key, that love him. But it's amazing. It's like the more you walk out and just say yes to the Lord, it looks like the more he's opening up to you, all the gifts that he's unfolding. You're like a Christmas tree with gifts all in there. It's coming all out.
Well, I'm really honored by that and really blessed by that, and I really want to mentor other young people of all types, not just young preachers, but young people of all types who have gifts that the church traditionally would ignore. Mm-hmm. You know, there was a time that we thought television was of the devil, and people would preach against having a television until people found out they could get television time. Then it became of God. And there was a time that we demonized Hollywood, and as we demonized Hollywood, other people took over Hollywood until now we're struggling to get our foot in a door that we could have been involved in before. And so it is with the internet and streaming and everything else. These are all just mediums of communication. What you do with them makes it good or evil, but the medium itself is neutral until you use it. It's like money. It can be good or evil, depending on what you use it for. And so this is an opportunity for us to be good stewards over the technology that God has blessed this generation with. And I want to call all of those great minds that are leaving the church to express their creativity, to say, come back, wait a minute. You can still have faith and have film. You can still have faith and do TV. You can still have faith and be a news reporter. You know, let's not just be one-dimensional, because when we throw these people out, then we complain because they're other religions, they're Buddhists, they're Muslims, they're agnostics, they're worshiping the moon. And some of them are worshiping that because we wouldn't let them come to church.
That's true. Oh, that is so true. And I'm just so glad that God is using you for people to know that you could still be saved and live out what God is calling you to do. Because I remember, just a brief testimony, the thing that the enemy was keeping me from getting saved when I got saved 20 years ago, because I wanted to go into entertainment. And when he told me, you can't go into entertainment if you get saved, I would never forget. It was November 25th, 1991. And that's what was keeping me. But the Lord came and I heard the call that same night and I walked down that aisle. Come to find out I can still, like you said, film and faith and film. You still can do what God called you to do. It's just in another way.
The Apostle Paul was a tent maker. Tents have nothing to do with being an apostle, but he was still able to have a duality of interests. And I think it's very narrow when you limit Christian people, preachers, black people, white people, any people, and say you can only do one thing. Mm-hmm. And people generally want to put you in a box and define you by how they met you. And they put a period and say, T.D. Jakes is a preacher. They put a period, but God put a comma.
Okay.
And so you have other interests, and to be able to explore them is your God-given right. And don't let people lock you in a box, because you were born by yourself, you're going to die by yourself. And in between, what you do with your gifts is part of your stewardship toward God.
God put a comma. Oh, that was a nugget. I got a nugget today. Because it's true, because with that comma, when you're a producer, you're a preacher, you're a producer, probably a screenwriter, and that's true. That comma allows you to have so many more things to come after it.
So many people that are really, really gifted in their own arenas are multi-talented, multi-gifted, whether you're talking about the P. Diddy's or the Oprahs of the world. And even in the church, there's been many, many people that had many gifts, even other pastors down through the years. Some of them have singing gifts. Bishop Marvin Wine is a great preacher and still a great singer, great recording artist. I mean, the whole Wine family is a picture of multi-talented, multifaceted people. And so many people like that. They could have been like the Jackson 5 if they wanted to be. There's so many people who have different tracks that they're gifted on, and we should release those people. The Bible says, stir up the gifts that are inside of you, and we should release those people to express their creativity in an appropriate way. You don't have to be obscene and be vulgar, but you can still be creative and cutting edge, and I think that's what this movie is. It's a clean movie. No nudity, no profanity at all.
Love it.
No, nothing like that. Nothing that you couldn't take a 13, 14-year-old child to see and enjoy. Yet it's funny and entertaining and light, and it's got a message in it.
And that's one thing I love about it. You can take your family, the children. It's a whole family movie. The movie is in theaters right now. Make sure you take your family. Go and see it again. I've already seen it twice. Took my husband. My husband's taking my mother-in-law. It's in theaters. It's in over 2,000 theaters. So no one have an excuse to say it's not in my city. It's in your city. Might be in one next to you. But make sure you go and see Jumping the Broom. Bishop T.D. Jakes, thank you so much for coming on the show. I greatly appreciate it.
God bless you. It's been a blessing. Take care.